Scandal, an action or event that causes a public feeling of shock or strong moral disapproval. Traditionally, it's a word you hear thrown around by sleazy gossip gurus or political news networks you find uncredible, but today we're going to use it truly and seriously, which is my favorite approach to most things. So hello everyone, my name's Rare, a professional Elden Ring challenge runner and part-time reporter for Torrentertainment TV, and today I'm covering Elden Ring's top 10 significant scandals. These are going to be defined as the most impactful events in the lore, as well as IRL community reaction in equal parts. Starting off with number 10, we have the end of the era of dragons. Time to talk about the original fiery feud that'll sizzle the scales off any scandal lover. Long ago, before America messed up the natural order, the lands between was ruled by the ancient dragons, with Placidusax, whatever, as their Elden lord. Under Flaccid Sax, there was peace for a time, but Bael the Dread thought he could hoard treasure and kidnap princesses better or something like that, so he tried to usurp Place Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti Sax's title. Thus, the dragon race wars began, complete with Bael Orwell chanting 4 legs good, 2 legs better to truly emphasize segregating the species. The specific details of this fight can't be confirmed by any onlookers, but everyone agrees that it did end in grievous mutual injury. Like Caddyshack loyalists swear that Bael used some sort of sneaky attack to catch the Dragon Lord unawares, otherwise victory would have been assuredly his. But Bael stands clap back wondering how anyone could sneak up on someone with 5 heads anyways, and I mean, they got a point there. What we do know is that Dragon Lord Priestess Flora Sax is not doing Placie's PR team any favors by running her formerly forked fucking tongue. She has been yapping up a storm assault about how Placidu's saxophone started to hold death to Drake's club in response to the Bael brawl, and many think genocide of a whole race and its descendants might be a bit of an overcorrection, and have taken to coining the previous Elden Lord as Petty Placie for the time being on socials. Either way, leading lore experts believe this dragon dispute led to Placie's god fleeing in an event comparable to the recent Shattering. Recall the totally super secret well-hidden undercover exposition in the game's opening cutscene, where the Shattering is described as a war from which no lord arose, a war leading to abandonment by the greater will. This sounds eerily similar to the events that transpired between Bael and Placie. It's hard to believe that this Godriculous Bael beef was the original Shattering, and that without it, we wouldn't even have the Age of the Erd Tree, let alone our drama-dripping Dame Marika. Number 9. Selen's Quest. We've been long since following the decline of former sorceress superstar Selen after a dramatic dropout from Raya Lucaria Academy for possession and practice of illegal primeval magics. She was last spotted sending that hot new Tarnished around town to collect corpses for her, but then things took a turn for the worse when Selen was discovered transformed to what looked like a big blueberry jawbreaker. Nothing to celebrate there. The Tarnished who discovered her was reportedly shocked and blasted off out of there like some sort of Selenium Falcon. Okay, I'm done. Wait, one more. Something, Selen really dropped the ball this time.
That shit is fucking trash, dog. Get the fuck off the airwaves.
Okay, now I'm done. Big-footed baddie and Carrion Queen Renala was the only other witness, but unfortunately had no comment on what transpired outside of some egg-swaddling sounds. This left gossip mongers to suspect foul play, since Renala was the founder and former master of the prestigious academy that Selen was expelled from. Did Renala teach Selen a lesson for trying to usurp her position as college dean? Or did her hubristic desire to restore the primeval current prove too powerful for her feeble terrestrial form? This journalist leans towards the latter after seeing footage of the results of her Selentific method. She appeared to be quite miserable to me, moaning and groaning like Nina from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Well, as usual, thanks to the Tarnished help, Selen had suffered eldritch horrors and a pain beyond human comprehension. It would have been better for her if no one had ever talked to her in the first place, but that's traditional FromSoft doomed by the narrative fare. She stood out though as one of the first and thus most memorable times someone showed affection and loyalty in the lands between to the touch-deprived Tarnished. So to have her snatched away from us in such a shocking way, it was a moment we'll never forget. Number 8. Blythe's Quest. I gotta report on this one quietly because any mention of Blythe will have my phone suddenly suggesting sexy homoerotic werewolf AI porn games on all my socials. It's like the furries version of saying Beetlejuice 3 times in a row. Anyways, Blythe the half-wolf wait a minute. I just realized the etymology of the name Blythe means wolf. Why is English like this? Rio Grande River means big river. Los Angeles Angels, literally angels. Non-bread is bread. And now we got Blythe Wolf, the half-wolf. I don't know where I'm going with this, I just think it's funny. Anyways, it's common knowledge that Blythe was created by the Two Fingers as a vassal to be bound to protect Ronnie as she was prepped to run for the Miss Empyrean pageant judged by the Greater Will. In the past, he had been spotted partying it up at the Radon Festival or running errands for his leash-holding lady. What was not so common knowledge, though, was when E.G. revealed that the Two Fingers created within Blythe a kill switch, causing him to become a curse that would plague Ronnie by his going mad. Because of this, E.G. sent him to the Everjail Empyrean Rehab and Detox Center until he got better. At least that was the plan. The Raya Lucaria reporters were the first ones on the scene when Blythe escaped the Ever Jail and was discovered at Rena's Rise surrounded by dead Black Knife assassins. Those kills clearly weren't enough kibble for him though, however, as he senselessly attacked anyone else who happened to approach. There's a lot that could be discussed about who sent the Black Knives, as Ronnie has no short list of enemies, but this reporter cares more about the impact and the manipulation of heartstrings rat-tat-too style by Miyazaki. Similar to Selen, Blythe stood out as one of the very few friendly faces amidst a sea of foes. His dedication to Ronnie and her cause, even though it defied destiny itself, is nothing short of admirable. He continuously fights against the very reason he was created, out of love for Ronnie, and never wavers in this resolve. Also, according to a recent data analysis conducted by an anonymous source, Blythe is in the top 3 of EldenRing Rule 34 artwork. He's kind, caring, fashionable, human from the neck down. If only being a Blythe cosplayer didn't come at such a great cost. The community is still Elden clinging to delusions that if you never return to Rena's Rise, then it's like it never happened, and I tend to agree with them. Number 7. Radagon leaving Rennala. Whenever I'm asked to describe the lore in Elden Ring, my short and sweet summary is that it's about a messy divorce where you're the one playing as Phoenix Wright. Thus, we simply shan't speak on scandals without talking about the man whose messy entanglement started it all, Radagon. It wasn't long ago that the people of the Lands Between were overjoyed when he repented his ambitions of conquest after falling head over huge-ass heels for Moon Mommy Rennala. They got married by the most reliable cleric in Liurnia, had 3 beautiful, all-powerful children, and became the perfect couple. But then, Muriel Pastor of Vows dropped the bombshell interview with the Golden Order Gazette disclosing that Radagon left Rennala to return to the Erdtree capital, becoming Queen Marika's second husband and king consort, taking the title of second Elden Lord. In all my years of being professionally nosy, emphasis on the nose in my case, I have never seen such duplicity since, hold on, let me close my eyes, point my finger out, spin in a circle, and land on the nearest mass-murdering megalomaniac with mommy issues in this game. Regardless, this Judasing gigolo left a hole in Rennala's heart as big as her hooves. Sources close to her reported that she lost her sense of self and dignity after he asked a Lavista on out of there. Then the sorcerers of Raya Lucaria, disappointed at her perceived weak-mindedness, rebelled against her, locked her up in the Grand Library, and attempted to invade her ancestral seat. A big-footed broad can't just have a couple of bad days anymore, sheesh. While Radagon stands defend his infidelity, saying he had no choice, we know better. Radagon has always been a zealot to serve the Golden Order, no matter the cost. Don't take my word for it, this was perfectly symbolized by Radagon's body itself being turned into the Elden Beast sword, a literal tool used by the incarnation of the Order Marika based her set of beliefs on. Finally, as with many divorces, unfortunately the kids are the ones impacted the most. His 3 children from the previous marriage were raised to demigod status as stepchildren of Queen Marika. To say this gave them a superiority complex would be an understatement, because as we know, each of them went on to leave lasting marks of their own in the Lands Between. Reactions, my grace-given gossipers? Number 6. Burning of the Erdtree. As the second most iconic landmark in the world after the Bean and the most iconic in the Lands Between, the Erdtree has become a symbol of the Golden Order and the Elden Ring itself. As you may recall, rumors circulated that the Elden Ring actually is the Erdtree, or at least an offshoot, since cut dialogue in the game uses the 2 phrases interchangeably. So it came as no small shock when the prized plant in the literal and symbolic center of the area was burnt by the Flame of Ruin that was long thought to be permanently hidden away, thus ending the age of the Golden Order. Whether for or against the Golden Order, this was a surprising day to many. Not only did rumored favorite level up waifu Melina perish by sacrificing herself to become human kindling, but best boy death dog Malekith was murdered as well to ignite the whole thing like a jumbo-sized firecracker. The result was one of the most frightening sights in the Lands Between, with lasting results. A nuclear-esque fallout buried the city and its inhabitants. All Lanedell locals now lain dead. The music transformed into a haunting, melancholic melody. Smithing Master Hugh had forgotten all acquaintance, but not forgotten his prices, apparently. It makes no sense that it's not possible to take advantage of his memory loss to get a rune discount on upgrades. Explain that inaccuracy, Miyazaki. Point is, it's a powerful scene that showed all the weight of what must be sacrificed to change this world and to become Elden Lord, forcing all who witness it to consider the consequences of their actions, for better and worse. Number 5. Mohg beats the allegations. Now come a little closer here because this one's a doozy. Mohg, demigod, lord of blood, and disowned son of reigning divine sovereign Marika had been getting dragged by fans for years after pictures of him kidnapping a physically underage Miquella surfaced, and instead of denying the claims, he went on Remembrance Records saying he wanted to quote-unquote, share his bloody bedchambers with Mikola despite that he received no response from the young Empyrean. Oh my runes!
A minor.
Tarnished all over were wearing their wizened fingers down to the nub that day, sharing the news on socials, admonishing the dishonored demigod. It seemed like an open and shut case until reports surfaced from the Land of Shadows painting an entirely different picture. It has since been confirmed that Mikola's ability to compel affection was indeed the root cause of Mohg's inappropriate behavior, as fringe theorists and Mohg stands suspected. Just when you thought Soul's villains couldn't get any more sinister, you have Mikola here, who used his sister and half-brothers as disposable tools, created the Halleck Tree as a theoretical safe haven for persecuted people, only to plot to abandon it to rot away. Literally casted away his embodiment of love, all in service of shepherding in an age of compassion where no checks and balances would exist since he can control everyone around him. Mikola the Kind, more like Mikola the Conniving. When asked about the whole situation, Mohg's former servant Sir Ansbach lamented that his lord deserved better, but implied that he's just glad the whole ordeal is over with and that the truth came out. The controversy has been so great that Netflix has confirmed a documentary about this injustice is in the works, with some rumored titles floating around, including The People vs. Mohg, Making a Mohg Lester, and more. Who would have thought that the demigod who looked and acted like the evil priest from Quasimodo would actually been a halfway decent guy? While it is true that Mohg founded a bloodletting cult that murdered and terrorized on the scale of millennia's scarlet rot atomic bombs, at least he's not a tyke toucher. Yippee! Number 4. Radon Festival. Radon has had a rocky last few years to say the least. From his feud with Mommy Millennia to being controlled by a gay cape, this down-and-out demigod has been at the center of too many controversies to count. The Radon Festival, though, stands out not only as the greatest social event of the era, but also as a crossroads for many individuals' destinies. As Tarnished readers will remember all too well, after the chode-shaped Raisin Warrior was driven insane by the Rock Queen rage-quitting in the Battle of Aeonia, he started cannibalizing friend and foe alike. Thankfully in life, he evoked so much love from his comrades, though, that they organized a clout-filled festival to fight for their lives in the crowd while being dehydrated and evading projectiles to the face. Very much like modern-day music festivals today. I would have gone myself had it not been for the demonically possessed demon dogs that roam the not-so-quaint county of Caelid. As I mentioned before, though, many individuals' quests intertwine in this event, but this interviewer is too lazy to intertwine them into a put-together passage, so I'm gonna prattle them off grocery list style. First off, Jaren is there to free Radon from his tortured existence. This would fulfill his oath to his old comrade and honor his death. Alexander is there to grow stronger by absorbing more fallen champions and become a great warrior. Blythe and probably Theralina too are sent as servants of Ranni to free the stars and open up Necron. Leonel is most likely there because Radon's death aids in the plans of his adopted daughter and my future fiancée Fia. Tragoth is there because he likes to help people and jolly cooperation and all that, I guess. Patches serves the purpose of making me laugh when he cowardly abandons his allies. Okina was most likely there under orders by Mohg, as killing Radon would also help serve Mikola's schemes. This is theory from the lore heads down in the lab though, but I think it holds water. In the end, it's clear that this festival served to kick off many people's paths, as well as be a night where warriors came together to bond and test their mettle. They may have arrived as enemies or as friends, but all that was put aside to fulfill one goal that would affect the lives of so many to come. Number 3. Radagon is Marika. Next up is Elden Ring's scandalous twist ending that made everyone think this game was written in part by M. Night Shyamalan rather than George R.R. Martin. Well, that and the fact that we didn't have to wait 13 plus years for the game's release, but I'm redancing around the topic. Brother Corrin first leaked the news upon interpreting it from Goldmask. Then confirmation came in when the Tarnished Champion fought their way to the Erd Tree and witnessed Marika's testosterone-filled transition firsthand. The big reveal that Queen Marika's male Sona is Radagon was a jaw-dropping moment in Elden Ring, where simultaneously everything made sense and no sense at the same time. It was in line with the classic FromSoft lore IV drip that led most to have even more questions than they did before. Have they always been the same person? Were they once unique autonomous individuals then merged together after the shattering? Do Marika and Radagon occupy a sort of quasi-state as they both are and aren't each other? Is it and is it not self-cessed? Is it Schrödinger-cessed? Is that even a word? Did their children ever wonder why they never saw mom and dad in the same room together before? The questions never end. And with not much evidence since then to set the record straight, this groundbreaking revelation has since initiated so much conversation in the community. It's stuck with us to this day, further deepening the mystery, moral ambiguity, and impact surrounding Marika's royal lineage. Number 2. Knight of Black Knives. The infamous Knight of Black Knives can be abbreviated as no BK, which is what I say to my friends every time this is just the Burger King drive-thru at 1 a.m.
Bibbidi bobbidi boo, what came to you?
Click clackety duck. This is what the fuck I want.
It's also what someone should have said to Lunar Princess Rani before she orchestrated the largest political assassination that the lands between had ever seen. The several centuries years old Carrie and Cabbage Patch doll sparked concern among fans when it was revealed that she went full Ides of March on the royal family, with her outsourcing the part of Brutus, resulting in the death of Golden Boy Godwin. According to a furry friend, her primary intention was to start a new trend of rebellious emancipation by shedding her Empyrean flesh. The court of public opinion is still out though on whether the end justifies the monstrous means here. What we do know is that we're still talking about it years later, though. This night had huge negative repercussions for not only the Golden Order, but for the world altogether. Evidence had surfaced that Rani knew that the spirit of someone else had to die as well to preserve her own spirit. She had to have half of the holobrand carved into herself at the same time as the victim whose soul would be killed. Was Godwin just the most convenient choice, or was it a little more personal? We may never know, my grace-given readers, but what we do know is that because of this, Godwin's body became the Prince of Death, zombies now roam the lands, and oh yeah, America shattered the Elden Ring. A very momentous evening, if I do say so myself. I could respect the anarchic nature of this scandal more if Rani didn't rat out the ringleader of the assassins she hired to assist her cover up for her involvement in the whole thing, but I guess she's as low in morals as she is low to the ground. You know, because she's short. In this form, at least. Do you agree that Rani's rationale is just self-serving attempt to seize power, or am I just a Golden Order mouthpiece? Sound off with your thoughts below. Number 1. The Shattering. Y'all already probably guessed it, so pat yourselves in your playtime, because Elden Ring's most scandalous moment, so dramatic that it drove away a cosmic all-powerful entity, is indeed the Shattering. The Shattering was the dramatic title to describe the era of high-profile breaking up of the Elden Ring and the wars for the shards that followed. This event was earned trending on socials for what felt like an era. As for what caused the alleged split, we covered that prior, and to be honest, it doesn't even matter. What matters more is what it caused after. And we're going to start right there, actually, with cause. Because causality is a constant theme in Elden Ring and is exemplified most in the events of the Shattering. To simplify it down for the throng of treasured tarnished listening, the law of causality is not only an important incantation in Elden Ring, but also an IRL principle that every effect has a cause. If you do this, then some result will come of it. If you practice fighting a boss, you will get gooder. If you rage bait enough on Twitter, you will become universally unloved. If you simp for Rani hard enough, maybe one day she'll take the form of a fleshlight and want you to roleplay as a tapeworm for her pleasure. Okay, that one will never happen, but you get the point. The Shattering is the focal point for the majority of the events on this list and in Elden Ring in general. To help illustrate this point, the unpaid interns over at Chronicles News Network made a handy-dandy list of repercussions for this event for your shattertainment. So here we have things caused ripple effect style by the Shattering. Number 1, mass scattering of graces and runes. Number 2, abandonment of the greater will. Number 3, debatably, aging itself. There's evidence to show that the Shattering caused aging without death. Number 4, Rykard feeding himself to a giant snake. Number 5, destruction of Caelid. Number 6, loss of sanity in Radon, and thus the Radon Festival. Number 7, general forces of decay and corruption take hold in the land between. Number 8, landscape changes, with Mount Gelmir's map being the greatest example. Pretty much everything that Marika built starts to slowly erode after that moment, leading to the biggest change in the land between your arrival. So I think it's safe to say, ding ding ding, we have a winner, my grace-given gossip mongers. Thank you again for watching my video, y'all. I hope you enjoyed it because I plan on doing a lot more videos like this in the future. So feel free to give me suggestions in the comments below. I already saw one about like top 10 Elden Ring characters to get blitzed with, and that sounds really fun, so I might do that next. Besides that, I got several other videos on the channel that you want to watch, including Elden Ring challenge runs, drinking games, more mumbo jumbo of the sort. Also, I stream live on Twitch every Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday. If you want to make my day and say you came from YouTube, I would just blush and my cheeks would get rosy red. Besides that, thank you again, and I'll see you next time.